Hello and welcome back to the channel. Warner, 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 all the time, all day, all the time. All right. So as you've seen, the announcement was made yesterday at Warner's earnings call that The Flash will indeed get released. The big question is, what about Ezra Miller? Some additional news coming out about Ezra Miller. I'm sure that maybe Zaslav thought maybe we've heard the last of this guy. Maybe the last of his dirt has already been aired. He has been very quiet for the last month or so. This guy has been flying under the radar. Nobody seems to know where he is. Of course, the authorities are looking for him to be able to serve him, but they have been as yet unable to find him. Unfortunately, the news isn't yet over and isn't yet done with Ezra Miller. This coming out today, Ezra Miller has now been accused of grooming minors and leading a cult. Well, that seems like there's nothing that should surprise us about Ezra Miller. Following a string of alleged crimes and arrests, new allegations against Ezra Miller have come to light in a new insider expose. According to insider Sarah Jumping Eagle and Chase Iron Eyes, allege in court documents that their 18-year-old Tokata was verbally and physically abused by Miller after being groomed by the actor for 6 years. But in June, Tokata's parents obtained a temporary protective order requesting that Miller be kept away from their child. And you might ask, well, why was this? Well, that's because in January, Miller and a guest at the Vermont actor's compound told Tokata's parents that their daughter was incapacitated after taking LSD. And when Jumping Eagle and Iron Eye saw Tokata, they told insiders she was incoherent and without a phone or ID and had bruises on her arms and her left cheek. After a few weeks with her parents recuperating, I'm assuming, Tokata would reconnect with Miller, leading her parents to take legal action. On June 7th, the tribal court said it could not locate or serve Miller and demanded that Miller appear in person on July 12th, the day the judge later closed the case to the public, according to Insider. Now, this is an interesting part. Here, Tokata told the outlet that her parents' allegations against Miller were a disgusting and irresponsible smear campaign, and that the actor in multiple cases has done the right thing and stood in protection of others. Well, this is something that you might expect from someone who is perhaps being, not treated correctly, or whose mind is maybe a little bit addled with drugs, and who is someone who is in the thrall of someone else. And how do I know that this is absolute BS, that Ezra has done the right thing and stood in protection of others? Well, it's Ezra Miller's own history. Flash star Ezra Miller arrested at Hawaii bar. Flash star, best known for playing the Flash, was arrested after midnight Monday at a bar in Hawaii after allegedly flipping out over patrons singing karaoke. Apparently, some woman was singing karaoke and he was just not happy with it. Miller began yelling obscenities and at one point grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke and later lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts. These are people minding their own business, doing their own thing. Ezra Miller is running around acting the fool. We also have this: Ezra Miller arrested for assault in Hawaii weeks after first arrest. This is a completely separate incident. Ezra Miller has been arrested for second-degree assault in Hawaii less than 4 weeks after the Flash was arrested for disorderly conduct and harassment in Hilo. Miller was arrested Tuesday morning after an incident at a private residence. Patrol officers responded to a report of an assault that occurred at a get-together. According to the police, Miller allegedly became irate after being asked to leave and threw a chair, striking a 26-year-old woman on the forehead, resulting in a half-inch cut. The woman refused treatment for the injury. But wait, there's of course more. This goes directly to the doing right by people and, protecting others. Ezra Miller appears to chokeslam woman and gets kicked out of a bar. This was from April 2020, and this does cover Ezra Miller choke slamming a woman. I believe this happened in Reykjavik. Yes, the Flash star was visiting Reykjavik on April 1st when this went down. Miller seemed to be pretending to be annoyed and then said, "Do you want to fight? Is that the deal?" The actor grabbed the woman by the throat and attempted to throw her down, at which point the person recording the video says, "Whoa, bro, bro, bro," and stops shooting. And a lot of people have said, well, this just looked like they were playing and they were pretending, but make no mistake. I thought it was just fun, and then it wasn't. Woman choked by Ezra Miller reveals her terror. She said this was very real to her, and I think that's what matters. She felt that her life was in danger, and that pretty much says all you need to know. The piece also delves into Miller's whereabouts in 2020, where Miller, Ezra Miller, I'm not saying the stupid pronouns for him, became somewhat notorious in Iceland for Ezra Miller's putrid stench and walking the streets of Reykjavik barefoot, revealing long pointy toenails and what looked like an infected gash on one foot. A young woman who had a brief sexual relationship with Miller in Iceland when she was 18 told the outlet, and this is some concerning words here, nobody ever was kind of allowed to disagree with Ezra. Ezra's reality painted everybody else's reality. There was no room for anybody else's opinions or feelings. That's just the kind of thing that you might expect from someone who is, I don't know, grooming or leading a cult. No room for anyone else's opinion or feelings. What Ezra Miller says is, the law or the only opinion that people are allowed to have in his mind. So again, this leaves us with what is to become of Ezra Miller, because obviously releasing this Flashpoint movie is going to be very concerning, especially if any new allegations come out or if any actual proof comes out that maybe something even more terrible was going to happen or did happen. Now, trust me, if that's the case, I think no holds barred, we might see the Flash not go forward. I still think that's always a potential possibility if more information comes out around this person. But it would seem that it doesn't matter because, as we've seen these reports, Ezra Miller reportedly out as Barry Allen after the Flash, regardless of what happens next. And all I can say is this can't come soon enough. Obviously, WB has a crisis on their hands, but one that will not be resolved by time travel or multiverse traversal. Ezra Miller's erratic and dangerous behavior has turned the star of their $200 million 2023 Flash movie into a massive liability. New report from Deadline goes through eternal revelations about what's going on, and though they say the studio has tried to get Miller help, the situation is not improving, and obviously they have some decisions to make about that movie. Those decisions seem to be made. They plan to release the movie, but regardless, with what happens next, both Miller's legal problems and the Flash movie itself, one thing seems pretty clear, that Miller will not be returning to the role that he's already filmed as Barry Allen. Now, I think this is why the edits and the reshoots to The Flash seem to be limited to, right now, as we know, replacing, maybe cleaning up the storyline a little bit, and replacing Ben Affleck, or I'm sorry, I should say replacing Michael Keaton's Batman with Ben Affleck. They both may be in the movie. I'm still not 100% sure about that. Again, if we're going with multiverse, it would make sense if we saw Ben Affleck as the Batfleck and we also saw Bat Keaton in this movie. Both could have a presence. And it's just that instead of Bat Keaton being the one that survives and takes over the mantle of Batman in our universe or this universe, whatever this is, then it remains Batfleck instead. It remains to be seen, but it seems that no matter what happens, Ezra Miller is out. It can't come soon enough. And it looks like The Flash will be released. And I gotta say, I'm not really looking forward to it, given all of the information around of it and the absolute disaster and black hole that this movie seems to be. As the old saying goes, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I think people are running out of patience with Ezra Miller, and I'm just beginning to wonder who is going to want to see this movie Flashpoint, especially if they know anything about his shenanigans. But what do you think? Should Warner Brothers still be releasing Ezra Miller's Flash movie? This movie that they've sunk at least $200 million into, probably more by this time. I'm sure after edits and reshoots and all of this tweaking and the delays that we're probably up to somewhere between $250 to $300 million poured in this movie now, and who knows if they will even break even on that. It will be interesting to see what happens. Let me know what you think. Are you going to go see this movie, and are you even interested in the Flashpoint movie anymore? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, if you want to continue to smash the narrative, then please smash the like, subscribe, and share buttons, because we are just getting started. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day.